Hi, this is Mark Cuban, Chairman and President and co-founder of HDNet, programming and broadcasting in the United States. Thank you so much for adding this D-VHS tape to your collection. We hope it's the first of many, many more that you decide to purchase from HDNet. Just want to give you a quick note that this is one of our first efforts in D-VHS, so if you have any thoughts and comments or suggestions, please do email them to me personally at mark@hd.net. And I also wanted to let you know that it's HD's corporate commitment that this tape and any future tapes in D-VHS that come from HDNet will not be copy protected. We encourage you strongly to make a personal backup and to feel free to share it with a friend. That said, if we find out that you're selling these commercially or making them available on a widespread basis, we'll come and get you. Our personal feeling is we'll let you do whatever you need for your own personal use, but let's not make a business out of it. Thanks so much for your support. And if you decide you want to watch HDNet live, you can catch us on channel 199 on DirecTV, or for more information, you can go to www.hd.net. Thanks a lot and enjoy the show.
Argentina is one of the most diverse and spectacularly beautiful countries in the Americas. The second largest on the South American continent, bordered on the west by the Andes and on the east by wide, muddy tropical rivers that join the rugged coastline of the Atlantic. The people here are a diverse mix of cultures as rich as any in the world. Proud of their diverse heritage, but also extremely proud and protective of the equally diverse environment known as Argentina. .5 million square miles, encompassing climates ranging from the subtropical in the north to subantarctic in the south. Along the Atlantic coast in eastern Patagonia, beaches can be long, flat, and in the fall and winter nearly deserted. With the exception of a few puddle ducks feeding in a small, receding tidal pool, a few seagulls and shorebirds, and a lone flamingo focused on the tiny crustaceans hiding beneath the sand. For the casual observer, the flamingo's movements appear to be a lovely dance of rhythm and poetry. For the flamingo, survival. Further south, wilder country. The Peninsula Valdez, a provincial wildlife preserve, draws tourists from all over the world in the spring to watch migrating southern right whales, who linger in the peninsula's rich bays during their annual migration. However, a very special time of the year is March and April, fall in the southern hemisphere, when another, more deadly migratory creature arrives, the magnificent orca. It's believed the huge population of sea lions, or lobos marinos in Spanish, that travel, feed, and breed on the peninsula are what bring the orcas into the beaches and shallow bays here. Orcas are predators, and the seals are prey. As the tide moves in, so too does a pod of orcas, looking for a careless or perhaps adventurous sea lion who strays just a little too deep into the surf. We were told by those who have watched this spectacle of predator and prey over the years that the orca's behavior on this particular day indicates that they aren't especially serious about pursuit of the seals onto the beach for food. On numerous occasions in the past, the orcas have seemed to focus on the seals, with the resulting spectacular, albeit gruesome, display of nature in the raw. The orca sea lion spectacle has become so popular with filmmakers, the Chubut Provincial Park Department organizes permits and escorts, so the visiting filmmakers don't disturb or distract from the annual ritual. Argentina, in this province of Chubut, is very protective of their country's natural wonders, commendable and forward-thinking leadership. Blinds set up along the beach to hide cameras can only be accessed at low tide, so your visit here is a required 6 hours. Along the Atlantic coast of Chubut Province, are the nesting grounds for the largest Magellan penguin colony in the world outside of Antarctica. On Peninsula Valdez alone, nearly 100,000 of these peculiar creatures nest here, beginning in late August, when the first male penguins arrive. Following shortly are female Magellans, who begin nest building and establishing territorial boundaries. Over the next few months, the mating ritual. Females seek a well-qualified male who will not only fertilize the female's brace of eggs, but will also share in the responsibilities of raising their progeny. By April or May, all the penguins return to the sea for 3 months, when the cycle is repeated. These flightless seabirds are remarkable little creatures who spend most of their time in the water. They can swim up to speeds of 5 miles per hour. They grow nearly 2 feet tall, weighing up to 15 pounds or so. Scientists estimate they may live as long as 20 years. Down the beach from the penguin colony, at the entrance to Calita Bay, in which the penguins nest, lobos elefantes, elephant seals, bask along the beach. Southern elephant seals are the largest species of pinnipeds, the biological designation which includes sea lions and seals. The largest male elephant seals may weigh upwards of 3 tons and stretch to a length of 15 feet. Breeding here is during September through November. This is the only colony of elephant seals found on the Argentine mainland and may number up to 40 or 50,000 individuals. The natural spectacle of coastal wildlife along Patagonia's Atlantic shore is a vast, varied, and immensely valuable resource of undeniable worth. On the peninsula alone, there are over 30 species of continental and marine mammals and 100 bird species. This unique wildlife preserve is one of 5 created and protected by the Chubut provincial government. Away from the water, land-based wildlife is most obvious in the lesser rheas that roam the semi-desert terrain. These distant but smaller relatives of the ostrich are found throughout Argentina. Guanacos, the largest wild mammal in Argentina, roam the arid rangeland in small herds. A relative of the llama, guanaco herds graze throughout southern Argentina. Valued by European settlers for their meat and hides, these unique creatures almost became extinct. But through recent enlightened resource management, they're making an excellent return to respectably sized herd populations. Other wildlife include foxes and hares, who keep company with burrowing owls, which have a significant presence here as well. Of the many climates that span the length and breadth of Argentina, the subtropics of the northeastern jungle elicit the most mystery. From the air, the giant, placidly demure passage of the Paraná River along the northern border provinces belies the steamy heat of the dense forest below. On the ground, beneath the canopy, the reality of the climate underscores a raw beauty of this relatively undisturbed jungle paradise. Ecotourism and birdwatching are just now catching on in the region. One of the leaders in the field, Charlie Sandoval, an entrepreneur and naturalist with his wife and partner Mickey, are developing a unique wildlife preserve in the midst of the Argentine jungle.
But these spiders are very common in summertime. When autumn is cold and things, they disappear. You don't have, in this type of forest, you don't have a lot of insects during cold weather. In summer you have a lot, no? So you have a certain type of birds, for instance, that are insectivorous, that they have more activity. Take to other places, and when to Amazonas, for instance, from here. And there are other ones that came from south, from the area of Buenos Aires, Patagonia, and they stay here.
There are boat tours down the nearby rivers where extremely rare birds may be spotted and added to your experiences.
This is the one that lives at the side of this stream, no?
With many more species heard or glimpsed to be searched out later on walking expeditions along the preserve's many trails, or for another rafting trip downriver. Bird watchers from around the world are discovering this remarkable jungle retreat, making Yacutinga a perfect base for their expeditions in the region. Yacutinga Lodge was designed by Charlie to be a harmonious part of their environment, rather than an intrusion. Yacutinga has cultivated and groomed a natural lagoon on one corner of the property, where a remarkable number of birds and animals may be observed during the day and evening.
So parrots here mostly the wild fruits. Wild fruits, for instance, the pindo fruit are very attractive, no? The fruit of the mbaitu. This is the fruit, and inside, this is the last flower, let's say, and inside has this little banana, very small. That is the one that eats. I don't want to break it, no, but it's the fruit that eats the little, mostly the little parrot, the green little parrot. And we see here, we saw here at the back, the other one with the yellow bill.
Without question, one of the most spectacular displays of nature's might, Iguazu Falls, cascades across 2.5 miles of the jungle landscape along the border of Brazil. Depending on the season and rainfall, as many as 275 unique and separate cascades plunge nearly 300 feet into the canyon below. November to March, during the rainy season, is the best display of nature's power, but generally the flow stays pretty consistent throughout the year. In 1978, however, the falls actually dried up for 4 weeks in the midst of a scorching drought that plagued the region that year. Iguazu National Park is not only a unique ecological treasure, but an extremely well-run commercial venture for a country desperately in need of foreign exchange. Nearly 1 million visitors travel through the park each year. Wildlife in the national park is rich in bird species, with the colorful toucan grande, the undisputed prince of the jungle, both in color and entertainment. 5 species of toucans and toucanettes, a smaller variety, live in the park and surrounding jungles. Next in entertainment value is the park's South American coati. The blush-crested jay has deeply saturated colors and is often spotted along the walkways near the falls, feeding on the thousands of insects that inhabit the rainforest. Over time, the Paraná has redrawn and rebuilt the landscape in its path. At one point, the ever-changing course of this mighty river created the Estero Ibera, Ibera Marsh, 3,800 square miles of marshland, home to over 360 species of birds, mammals, and marine creatures. The marsh is a special place where sunset and sunrise not only mark the passage of time, but provide a special show for visitors lucky enough to explore this unique habitat. On the southern edge of the marsh, a remarkable respite from the wilds, Piraju Lodge combines the luxury of the civilized world with an easy access to that less so. Created as a fishing lodge and sanctuary for the human species, the owners have worked successfully to keep Piraju's presence in harmony with nature's surrounding splendor. Partners in Piraju Lodge, Argentine businessman and sportsman Fernando de las Carreras, and resident manager Butler Ball.
Okay, this Piraju idea started about 2 years ago. Actually, I have been fishing since I'm very young, and I've always been attracted to Dorado fishing because I saw the pictures of the Dorado, because I heard of the Dorado, and most of my fishing was done in Patagonia for sea-run brown trout. So I decided to explore places that you could fish for Dorado in a friendly place, not very far away, not in the middle of the jungle like most of the places in Brazil or the Amazon, and that you can have reliable fishing year-round. That means the water has to be crystal clear because the Dorado hunt and have to see the small fish that they eat.
And we started a company and got some shareholders, Americans and Argentines, and bought some land here and built the lodge called Piraju, which means Dorado in Guarani, Indian language. We're basically a fishing lodge, although I think we can really amplify our services in the future. I mean, we have incredible bird watching, you know, just also for Argentines or whatever that want to get out of the city. It's a great place to relax. It's so peaceful here. We brought down 6 flat skiffs from the States. We go Dorado fishing. We bring people here to go fly fishing. It's a lot of fun.
The Ibarra marshland it's a huge water reserve. It's the second biggest water reserve in America. It's 3 times the size of the Everglades, and it's believed to be the old course of the Paraná River. The Paraná River is one of the most important rivers in the continent. And it's supposed to be the old course of the river, that then the river moved, and this huge basin is filled by rainwater every year, by the huge rainfalls of the area. And it all drains into the Corrientes River. So all this little channel and braids with sandy bottom are full of fish, and it's kind of naturally protected because it's very difficult to access the marsh. So that is why the marsh is so incredibly different from all the other places.
And it never goes dry.
And it never goes dry. Actually, it can have a lot of water like it has nowadays, but it does never get dry.
Fishing is the business here. Anglers leave just after sunrise in pursuit of a remarkable fish, the golden Dorado, which is arguably the most ferocious species of freshwater fish in the Western Hemisphere.
I break it off.
It's an exciting pursuit in a beautiful setting.
I'll just release tension, but I'll still have control.
You're doing fine. You're doing just right. Come here, buddy.
Okay, you've got it.
Come here, buddy. Come see the dentist. Nice fish.
Girl, beautiful.
They're just at 6.5.
Great.
Want to hold on to it?
Beautiful.
I don't know if you can see. Hold the tail there.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. Grab that fly out. Good corner hook set. See down on the edge. I'm a little nervous about putting my finger in there.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay.
And just set him back.
Can you grab my rod for me,
your rod
please?
out from under you.
Thank you. Just, yeah.
Shove and he should kick right out.
There we go. All right.
Just right.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Just right. That's how it's done.
God.
We have
Change fly,
lady
change
luck
line.
in our boat.
Yes.
The Ibarra marshland. It's an amazing place. It's 3,500,000 acres of marshland. It's crystal clear water, 365 days of the year. It's controlled by rainfall. The few studies that they've done on it indicate that prevailing easterlies blow by Iguazu Falls, which is northeast of us, gather a bunch of moisture and deposit that moisture, the rainfall, in the depression that is the Ibarra marshland. They think that the Ibarra is the abandoned channel of the Paraná River. They think thousands of years ago, or tens of thousands of years ago, the Paraná River, which now is the border between Paraguay and Argentina, flowed right through here, right behind us, and it deviated at some point over time and left this big depression, and the rainfall is all deposited here, and that's why we have this crystal clear water. I think there must be some spring somewhere because it's an awful lot of water to just be rainfall, but it's a beautiful place, full of birds and animals and fish.
Powerful little guy. They like to bounce.
Well, basically what it happens is that it's, like I said, a huge depression that drains into a river, and it has like a natural dike at the beginning of the river, so it kind of always never drain completely out, and there's so many rainfall in the area. Also, this mass of water contributes that it continually recycles into rain. So basically that is why it never drains out. And it's believed that there might be some kind of connection from the Paraná River putting water from under the marsh into the marsh whenever there's a decompensation between the river level and the marsh level.
The average depth of the marshland, I think, over the 3.5 million acres is about 6 feet. So it's pretty shallow.
The Ibarra Marsh has changed little over the last several hundred years. Guarani Indians, who inhabit some of the larger islands in the marsh, continue to ply the channels and lagoons in ancient, handmade dugout canoes, identical to those used by their ancestors.
¿Mató todo? Mató todo porque le puso la cachera. ¿Cuándo fue la seca eso? La seca, sí.
Guarani tribes are one of the most important groups of Indians in South America, spanning across Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil, from the Andes extending all the way to the Amazon. The name Guarani is of disputed origin and is most likely the product of foreigners. The Indians simply refer to themselves as Aba, which means men in their language. Historically, before the influence of foreigners dramatically changed their lives, the Guarani were subsistence farmers living on manioc and corn. This particular group of Guarani have adapted to life in the marsh, adding fishing and hunting to supplement their ancestral subsistence farming.
Nice fish.
A little bigger, a little smaller.
Though created primarily as a fishing resort, Piraju embraces gracefully and enthusiastically an additional activity, bird watching, which is a growing passion for Lodge Guest Services Manager Hilton Hines.
Of all the different wildlife that we have, the birds are the most remarkable thing. The quantity and the different types that you'll see. Sitting in one place for 1 hour, you can see between 25 and 35 different types of bird on any given day. We've got, just here in this area, a huge amount of wading birds, egrets, herons, storks, chahas, and then little birds that'll be feeding in the grass all day long. We've got southern lapwings that are probably the most common bird that you'll see in this area, and they're pretty noisy, and they nest here in the ground. Lots of different parakeets. I have one for a pet here at the lodge. And the last thing at the age of 25, I guess, I thought that I'd be really interested in was bird watching. And one of the things that, has just struck me so much about this place are how many birds there are. And I'm now fully bird watching. I'm always with my book and my binoculars, and it's something that I've really fallen in love with. This whole area is so undiscovered by most people, and not only can someone come here with a fishing rod and enjoy themselves, you can come here to see the birds, to go out just in a boat and see the amazing marshland and the water system. People come here and go scuba diving, horseback riding, getting to know the gauchos that live in this area, trekking sort of through the trees. There are howler monkeys in this area. There are just tons of things to see.
Nature's spectacle has explored just a fraction of the natural wonders of this remarkable collection of ecosystems, climates, and geography. Other editions of Discoveries Argentina explore a variety of life, history, nature, and adventure in Argentina.